Why do we start with Tae Kwon Do? I'm an author dude, right? I'm supposed to be, I don't know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah.
Because you took Tae Kwon Do.
I took Tae Kwon Do. Very good, thank you, sir. Well, high five by proxy, that's good. High five by proxy. What else? What else? Yeah, it's in the book, right. When I started writing, I started this book, let's see, 5 years ago now. And I knew I was going to put my main character through the worst natural disaster in recorded human history, the eruption of the Yellowstone supervolcano. And that's a real thing. There really is a gigantic volcano under Yellowstone. It really will erupt again someday. And I'll tell you more about that later. When I started writing this book, I realized my protagonist needed to be someone very special to be able to survive. So I could have made it magical, right? But that would have been too much like Harry Potter. Or I could have given him superpowers, but that would have been too much like Iron Man 4 or the X-Men. Or I could have made him a vampire, but we don't even want to think about it. So I decided instead that my protagonist would be a martial artist because I wanted to write a realistic book. And I know there are teenagers who are great martial artists who win world championships in martial arts. Like Sparty is one of them. Who even win Olympic medals. In Tae Kwon Do, it's an Olympic sport. But I had two problems. First of all, maybe you can tell, I sit around and I type all day. Not the most athletic guy you've ever met, am I right? And the second problem I had was I'm not a geologist either, and I decided to write this book about this volcano, so I had this massive stack of geology books I was reading to try to learn enough to get the facts in my own book right. And I didn't want to add a massive stack of martial arts books. That sounded super duper boring. So I decided I would take a few classes, learn enough to fake it, write my book, and all be good. But I found I really enjoyed Tae Kwon Do. I stuck with it. And finally, last year, right before my book came out, 2 years ago now, I earned that. Thanks. Thank you. So you see it says M. Mullin there, right? That's how you can tell I didn't just steal it on my way here. Indianapolis this morning. I live in Indianapolis. Or maybe I did steal it. I'm no good at Tae Kwon Do, but I'm a championship embroiderer. I'm the leader of my embroidery club. So I was driving and stitching all the way up here from Indianapolis. And then the one there, anyone know what that means? First degree, yeah, which means I'm the very basic beginning kind of black belt. Now in our dojo, there's a tradition that on the other side of your black belt, you put something that's meaningful to you personally. It's different for every martial artist. So you guys in the STEM camp, you're all great readers, right? Yeah, everybody reads real long? Yeah, so could somebody read this for me? Shout out real loud. Read that, sir. No?
Go ahead, June. June.
Can you read that? No?
Read.
Oh, yeah, wow, you're like only the fourth person I've ever met who can read that. That's awesome. So, I don't read Korean myself, so I just always hope, this doesn't say something like Mike Mullin sucks, does it? It doesn't? Yeah. Master Parker asked me, she said, Mr. Mullin, assuming you passed your black belt test, what do you want on your belt? And I thought about it for a minute and I said, well, it's a belt, so it should say holds up hands. And she said, no, Mr. Mullin, you may not choose a stupid, silly, frivolous joke for your black belt. This is Tae Kwon Do. We are tough. We are serious. And so I thought about it a little bit more. And finally what I told him to have put on the belt. And what these are the Korean characters for. It's like he said the word inne. But one translation of that is determination or inner fire, right? Am I being fair? Okay. It's a determination. Why? Because that's what you need, both to be a martial artist and a writer. You have to be determined enough to go to the dojo. The dojo is a place where you do Korean martial arts, even when you don't want to, even when you're tired or sore or hungry or feel like doing anything else. And even though I have now written 5 books this long, there are still days when I hate to write. But I would rather do anything than write another word. I'd rather scrub my bathroom floors than write another word. Now, who here has sat in a class And some teachers give you some assignment, and the assignment seems really stupid, and everything you start writing seems really stupid, and it's just really hard to get going. Who's had that experience? Raise your hand real high. Right? Everybody, right? And everywhere I go, I've spoken to tens of thousands of students now. Everybody raises their hand. Writing is hard. Writing is for the top, for the determined. Now, there's another reason I start with a little bit of Tae Kwon Do. This is a yellow board, a yellow belt. It's not the easiest one. The easiest one's a white board, a white belt. I didn't bring that one. You guys, everybody broke this, no sweat, right? So you don't move on to the orange board for orange belt or color code. And then the green and the blue and the brown and the black board for black belt is about 9 times as difficult to break as this one. You have to hit it 9 times faster or harder. And if you can break that, if that becomes too easy, then we start sandwiching them together. We put a yellow with a black, and a blue with a black, and a brown with a black, and if you can break 2 blackboards sandwiched together, which is like 18 of these all at once, then you are faster and stronger than I am, because I can't do it. I tried last year, and I really hurt my hand. I can do it with a side kick, with a foot, you know, the kick, but not with my hand. But if you can break a brown and a blackboard sandwiched together, then you're fast enough and strong enough to try that.
Well, can you do that?
At the end, when I have about 5 minutes left, I'll try to break this with my hand. So who here is 1 brave and 2 thinks this might be fake? Maybe you pretty brave? What's your name, ma'am?
Savannah.
Savannah, awesome, Savannah. Would you hold that for me? Thank you. So don't do anything with it, okay? Don't hurt yourself.
Oh, okay.
But I love what Savannah did here, right? I'm a novelist. I write, which means I write fiction. You know what fiction is, right? What's fiction? Fake, exactly. Not real, which means I have the greatest job in the entire universe. I sit down at my laptop every morning and I type lies into my computer. Email checks to my house for that. I kid you not. So Savannah here says, here's a student. You never met me before today, did you? No. And I didn't pay you anything, did I?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. But I'm not going to. Sorry. Yeah, it doesn't look right.
It's all good.
Yeah. So Savannah here says, here's a student I've never met before. I didn't pay anything. And he tells lies for a living. How do I know anything that dude says is true? And that's great, Savannah. That's a skeptic's mindset, a scientist's mindset. This is what scientists do, right? They propose hypotheses, and they propose competing hypotheses, and maybe they do a little testing, but mostly they just argue. The scientific literature is full of conflict. Full of conflict. So you're going to be a great scientist one day, right, Savannah?
I plan on it.
Awesome. High five for science. I'm looking for your name in the Nobel list, okay?
Yeah.
All right, so can I have my ball right back?
You can take it.
All right, so in the meantime, can you help me out with the rest of the talk?
Sure.
Okay, so here's what you got to do. Anytime I say something you think might be bogus today, I want you to jump. I want you to jump up and yell real loud. How do you know that's true?
How do you know?
Good job, man! So there's another reason I started with a little bit of Tae Kwon Do. The first time you go to the dojo, you don't try to break something like that. No, if you did, everybody break their hands, and I'll quit Tae Kwon Do. My dojo would go out of business. I'd have nowhere to train, and I'd be sad. No, you start out with easy stuff like this, and you have to get faster and stronger to break harder and harder boards, and ultimately concrete. And similarly, in writing, I believe I am constantly striving to be a stronger and faster writer. And I think I'm becoming a stronger writer when I learn new words, new story ideas, new character arcs, new ways of using backstory and dialogue. Now, I'm not in school anymore, like most of you guys are. Thank goodness I'm not. So how do I do that? How do I get new words into my head? What do I do? Yeah, read. I read all the time. I read omnivorously and voraciously, which are words I learned from reading. And let me demonstrate to you how this works. Can I borrow your brain for this demonstration, sir? Yeah. Oh, thank you. You're very nice. You're Adrian?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, Adrian, you know, a strange guy asks you to loan him your brain. You might, think twice about that. I don't know. All right. So Adrian's a really nice guy. Way too nice for his own good. And Adrian also has a super brain in here. And the way his super brain works is it sucks in ideas while he's reading through his eyes and words. They come in like this, they go pew, 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 pew. And then he has something up here in the top part of his head that grinds those words up. It sounds something like this. It goes, and then he vomits out his own stories. Dude, sorry about the vomit. It's Adrian's fault. So that's kind of this, yeah, it's always Adrian's fault. So that's kind of a disgusting analogy, right, Adrian? Should I make it worse? All right, just for you, I will try to make it worse. And I'm sorry, Jillian, I forgot to tell you about this part of the presentation. I really should have prepared you for this ahead of time, but to make this worse, I need more than just kale chips and Fruit Loops. I need a giant tray of hamburgers, okay? So run out and it's an inexhaustible NIU budget. Buy me a great big tray of hamburgers, okay? But don't go to Burger King. You don't get your hamburgers your way. You get them my way. My way! Because everybody gets the same bun, the same lettuce, the same tomato, the same meat, the same ketchup, the same mustard. I don't even care if you hate mustard, I'm still putting it on your hamburger because that's the kind of guy I am. And the way we're going to do this test is we're all going to eat identical hamburgers. And then we're all going to vomit them back out on the lecture hall floor. You're real excited about this map right now, yeah, okay. So there's going to be little pools of vomit all over the floor, and it's going to smell like stomach acid in here. And the great thing about this test is everybody's vomit will be a little different. Like hers will be a little bit yellow, and his will be a little bit green. His will have chunks of the gross stuff he ate for dinner in it. He's smiling like, oh yeah, I caught him. You ate gross stuff for dinner? Oh, all right. And that, aside from being the most disgusting analogy ever offered during an author talk, a fact of which I'm immensely proud, is exactly like reading and writing. Even if you all read the same book, even if you all read my book, Asphalt, and I don't think you should. I'm the worst salesman in the history of the world, right? There's books on the table out there you can buy, and I'm saying, don't read it. No, if you pick this up, and you read the first couple of chapters, and you say, oh, this sucks, not my kind of book, I don't see myself in here, I don't like it, put it aside. Get a different book. There are thousands of books in your library. There are 8 million books on Amazon. There are 130 million books in the Google Books project. We can find the perfect book for you. But even if we did all read the same, even if we all read my book, Asphalt, or even read all the same things for our whole lives, we would all grind that up a little bit differently, and we would all write something unique. And that is the miracle of reading and writing, and hamburgers and vomit. Quit talking about vomit.